we have a distinguished guest who is not only a health professional but a Harvard graduate as well. So let us welcome Dr. Rupali Basu, who will be discussing with us about her journey in Harvard University. So ma'am, because we are an education consultancy, our discussion will be in and around education abroad, ma'am. So can I please request you to take us through your academic journey? Definitely highlight your experience at Harvard University. Over to you, ma'am.
So good afternoon, Shiny. Good afternoon, everyone. At Global Reach, I plan to study abroad. Good afternoon, students, and a very, very happy Women's Day. We just celebrated yesterday to all the women out here, and of course, my wishes to everyone out in the entire world, globe, our country, city, everywhere. We still need to celebrate the Women's Day. We need to commemorate. Need to think about why we celebrate. You all know by now that the history of International Women's Day. It is a day where we asked for things, where we asked for even right to vote was not there before, and today it still is relevant because we talk about equality, but there are a lot of things still not happening as yet as equal as men. We don't, for many of us, we are privileged. We have been able to break through the glass ceiling, have been able to work in whatever way we wanted to do, whatever wanted to achieve. We have been able to do all that, but not for everyone out there. So I think we will still celebrating International Women's Day on 8th of March every year still is relevant, and it will continue to be relevant till we achieve a proper equality. And probably after that, we will celebrate, all days, every day. Coming back to your question on, particularly on academic journey, I hail from a small town called Durgapur, and it is the Durgapur Still township, where I was born, and I studied in school before coming to the medical college in Calcutta. So the city of suburb city, where it's a small township, but to me it was a beautiful township where the trees were where the roads were lined by trees, and I learned that a road is a road, but an avenue is a road which is lined by trees. And very picturesque, very lovely school. We had everything possible I learned in school life. So I think be it rifle shooting to giving alpona in Saraswati Puja to playing badminton for your district to academics, I think everywhere I was involved in every activity of the school. We had 9 sections, 5 Bengali medium, 2 Hindi, 2 English, and a very large school. But the school life, I think, is very vital for us to create the base so that we create our standards for the future. Standards, thought process, philosophy. Everything is very, very vital and important and relevant in the future when we are growing up. So while growing up, I understood that my favorite subject was biology and, of course, physics and geography. I got good marks in all these subjects, and I hail from a family of engineers but wanted to become a doctor. And to me, from Durgapur, Calcutta used to be the thought process of going to Kolkata to study. And those days it used to be Calcutta, was something like a dream. And the only memory of Calcutta was when my parents took 2 of us, my brother and me, to see the Kolkata, the important area, important buildings and institutions and areas of Kolkata as a visitor. And I knew that I had to study in Calcutta. So Calcutta has been my RG Kaur Medical College. It's my alma mater. It's been my is where I grew, where I learned, where I have studied medicine. We study British pharmacopoeia. The colleges in India still today, the MBBS course is what we study, what the Britishers study in UK. What we do is once we get an MBBS degree, the same books and curriculum is there in UK too. That's why when we finish our studies, we can actually go straight over to UK without any other training to start practicing there. We can start working there, and that's what. But not the same for US. US has got a separate curriculum, so we will have to do actually. Of course, the initial tests are different to when you are going to a foreign university. There are tests which you have to pass through in UK as well as in US, but US doesn't recognize the MBBS degree as such. So you would have to actually study everything abroad and then everything in USA and then start work. In any case, when we were coming out, all of us, since we study British pharmacopoeia, doctors do have our post graduations and our the further specifications and special trainings, because medicine, as you know, is a very large subject, and it's all divided into special specialities like a gynecology or a medicine, or you must be hearing about orthopedics. And if you go beyond the super speciality and the super specialities, then endocrinology and many other things have come in. You become a specialist of every area. Even hand can be a specialist. So for those special, we do have very, very developed institutions in India, but we also have very developed institutions abroad. So many of our doctors, like half of my classmates, actually went off to UK. A portion of our class, of course, went off to US too, because in our time, USA was everything about. A lot of things is America. The amount of research they do, the amount of processes they develop, the amount of I think that primarily the research angle, and the institutions are very large, the volumes are very large, the studies are very deep and very research oriented. So America always came very first even in my thought process. So when we came out, we graduated, we did our post-graduation in India, and I was looking at hospital management, and hospital management in early 90s was not even a recognized degree in India. So this new thought of that I have to become in hospital management actually pushed me to look through the universities. By far, the working in hospitals, I started looking into that, what is good, what is bad, what is the best things that I can actually pick up. And I understood that there is nothing called quality systems and processes in hospitals, and hospital management was also very nascent. There were not too many. Actually, there was no degree when I thought of getting into hospital management. But of course, when I traveled to USA, to Boston and Harvard, that was the time when, of course, hospital management has come up. And they were much more, the gap between the advancement of the training there, training and education, and us, where there was a gap. So they were doing much, much more. They started earlier, and they have done a lot of activities a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of education and training in my area in hospital management. So I went and studied a advanced hospital management course in Harvard. I didn't actually graduate from Harvard University. It was more of a structured training program for us. We were 9 of us. We were based in Boston, and probably those days were the best days of my life, because we learned advanced hospital processes in Bethesda Deaconess Hospital, Mass General Hospital, as well as Boston Children's Hospital. The 3 hospitals were they were the kind of work they were doing, the kind of detailed process-oriented care they were providing to the people in those hospitals, to the needy, was mind-boggling. It was like I learned so much. So every hospital in US are accredited by JACO, the Joint Commission Accreditation, and we learned how JACO, every hospital. So this quality process for clinical standards, as well as the standard of operations, are all governed by the processes. And in India, we didn't have that. And still that time when I studied. And we brought in actually that concept of quality to the country. We in India, JCIA, or Joint Commission International of Accreditation of Hospitals, who actually accredited the first hospital in India, was accredited by JACO. Joint Commission was Apollo Hospital in Delhi, and the second hospital was where I was the Wakhat Hospital in Mumbai. And both these hospitals were in 2005. And actually, we made the base document of quality accreditation for the Government of India. And 2007, the National Accreditation for Hospitals in India happened, the NABH, what we all know now. So the whole, I feel that the understanding or the knowledge that we could bring in from US to us actually are pathway for building the processes and the way we operate hospitals in India. So the combination of the British pharmacopoeia and the quality accreditations from both countries of UK and US actually has given a lot to our country. We are very talented. We are a country with very talented individuals, and when we are supplemented with the training from abroad, I think the work or our thought processes or the way we want to do our work improves many fold. So it's for me, it's like if I say that there are three cities or three countries which has shaped me, then it is of course Kolkata, and then Boston or Harvard, and of course the third biggest part of my work life is Singapore. So we had a huge amount. I worked for Apollo Gleneagles Hospital for 10 years at the corner office as the CEO. So I was, the daily, and it was Apollo Gleneagles is a JV between Apollo and Gleneagles, IHH, based out of Singapore. So our sales flash, and they operate 2.5 hours earlier. So my sales flash, my daily MIS used to go at 7 o'clock if I'm starting at 9:30 in India, in Calcutta. So it was like for 10 years I have worked with, and I was actually heading the large part of IHH International Operations Division was headed by Calcutta, and very proudly 70% of IOD was mine, and the other two divisions were of course Singapore SOD and Malaysian Operation Division, which is MOD. So even at work life, I think that additional the exposure to Singapore was the way the hospitals work there was a huge learning. In Singapore, the government-run hospitals are as good as the private hospitals, probably better. So I have worked in all the hospitals in Singapore. They're extremely good. I'm talking about healthcare because that's my sector. That's my basic training. So probably those who are thinking of the other aspects of management or other aspects of other sectors may not be so relevant. But health is part of all of us. We need to be healthy. We need to know our body. We need to know our mind, and health comes everywhere in every way. So probably the little thoughts that I'm sharing now would help you in understanding that how not only training, planning and studying abroad helps, but also working time when you are working with, together in collaborated way or in, foreign institutions and organizations, it also helps. I think these three cities have really shaped me because I think we can just probably take a pause here. Learning is forever. I don't think that I'm still at 62. I'm learning every day. So learning cannot stop. Learning, education, training has to go on. Education, of course, is a structured training. You get a degree or a diploma or a certificate at the end of your study. So that's very formal and structured, but there are many unstructured ways of learning all the time. So we learn every day. And that's how I look at myself even today.
Absolutely, ma'am. We learn every day, and definitely, your experience has been so, inspiring to us. And that's the reason why we really wanted to have you to this talk show. Now, with this, I'll take you to the next question of mine, ma'am. We really want you to give some kind of advice to our female students, because with us, what we see, the ratio of male versus female students are definitely low. So probably they are restricted by societal or family pressure. But then again, what will be your advice to them? Because if they are wanting to study abroad, then they should have that encouragement with them. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we, if plan to study abroad, that's your, if I take the P from your organization, then there are a lot of P's that we can work on. I think one is the which I was talking about, the past or the beginning, which is very vital. And then your planning is very important, that what you want to do. But the philosophy of life is important. That's another P. So if you really want to have your ambition, want to do, then nothing should stop you today. Nothing should stop you. If you want to do something, there is a way to do things. So you have to plan for it. And the pace is also important. There's another P. It need not be that you have to do it right away, or you have to really, crush everything and do. If you can't do, you are very sad. Nothing like that. You have to keep planning for the future and have to keep on working on those P's. And the perceptions of today, which she's talking about, that's another P. Today is very vital. We are still today not reach that equality. So people still today think that perceive us that as women, as we will not be able to really reach out and go out to the external world, and would not be able to really keep ourselves safe or keep ourselves do our things the way we want to, and mostly with women the safety comes and the capability also comes, that they think that we won't be able to do, but absolutely misnomer. I think we can do everything if you plan, if you know what exactly you have to do, to break those perceptions and move ahead. And I think I also believe in perfection a lot. We women can actually, can do many things, think many ways. We give a lot, and people say that perfection is not important, but I think it is important. The journey to perfection is important. The standards is important. You need not be a perfect person. That may not be possible, but the finesse, the standards are, I think, is important in everyday life, everywhere. If you are thinking about all aspects of your day-to-day life, I'm sure we'll be able to really surpass the fear that others have on us. Think freely, have a philosophy of life, and think freely and move ahead. I think that my suggestion would be to all of you. My daughter, we have one daughter, and I can give you the example of her. She thought of choosing a profession which I didn't understand much, but she is a veterinarian. She studied veterinary science, BSc, Bachelor of Veterinary Science, from the University of Massey in New Zealand. She chose her study on her own, the academics, that what she wanted to be. She loves dogs and she wanted to be a doctor for the dog. Probably the doctor part has come from the mother, and the care has come from the father, and she wanted to, and she's a combination of both of us. And she studied in New Zealand for 5 long years and did very well, worked there for another 3 years, just back now in Calcutta to look after the cats and dogs and small animals here. New Zealand is very far from Calcutta. It is from our country, it's the other part of the globe. It almost takes almost 1 day to reach, but she did complete her study. So there is nothing that, and she wanted to, because she wanted to become a doctor for the dogs, and primarily, and then now of course she is a specialist for all kinds of animals. For them, there are 4 divisions. I think the small animals is 1, then equine or the horses is 2nd, the 3rd is the farm animals, the cows, goats, and the wild animals is the last one. And she was threatening me that, Ma, I become a wild animal specialist. I said, Ma, please, please don't become. And then she would have gone to the forests and zoos. But I think that was my, the mother instinct said. But I know that I would have gone ahead with her, whatever she wanted to do. So you're explaining your parents about what you want to do, how you want to study, and primarily your own ambition and your own skill. I think skill set that what you want, and love also, all that, what you want to do in the future. And that's how I think you can select your studies today. The entire world is with us. The organizations like you are there. We can always search the net, and all information, global information is in front of us. At the click of a button at your handset, it's everything there. So search the whole world. I think we need to be global citizens. We are global citizens today, and we continue to up our standards and keep on doing better work, better studies. That's how I think I would say that it's very, very important to know the world and take your decisions.
Thank you, ma'am. I think, the story of your daughter was definitely, an eye-opening story for our students, because, of course, there are so many avenues to look at, but then again, people, they do not realize the opportunities, ahead of them. And with this, ma'am, my last question to you would be, if you could take us through your achievement as a health professional, and definitely what keeps you motivated, and so energetic till today. So it's something which we'll definitely like to know, ma'am.
So I became the youngest CEO in the healthcare sector years back. That probably I had academically, I was very, very good. And I had that ambition to do something, to contribute something for people. So my love for people, the understanding of in people, and then helping them in whatever way I could. And I knew that as a doctor, I have to do. And when I was becoming a specialist in gynae, I also thought that running the hospitals may be the better way, because if I run a hospital, if I can manage the hospital better, it is not only will help me, but it will help the patient families, the patients, the staff. They are working. Each bed in a hospital is served by 5 people. So, it's a very large ecosystem. You have 10,000 plus diseases. You have so many types of procedures. In private sector, we call it the service codes. That thousands of service codes. We any organization have got 100 products. You will say that it's such a large company. In hospitals, it goes into thousands, many thousands of service codes. So it's a large matrix organization, very complex. None of us are chromosomally same. We react differently. So we react differently with the same medicine, the same disease. So there's a whole lot of matrix. And I thought that this complex organization I have to master. And I did that, the training from Harvard, Berkeley. Of course, I did also training from Haas School of Business in Berkeley and many other organizations. 10 years of work in Singapore, actually, and of course, the work with my colleagues and in the Apollo systems, in Woodlands Hospital, in Fortis, in Wokhart, where we had so much of opportunities I got. And I've utilized each opportunity to the best of my ability to not only for me, for the organizations, for perpetuity. I have never seen a hospital and an organization or my role within a boundary. I've always seen that if I have to work for others and for a longer period. So whatever the organizations I've worked for, they run for, the processes should be for, the organization should be set for a future. So that's how I think I have worked on, and I think I've done, they call me turnaround specialist. So I do turn around organizations which don't do well. I have done that for many, or those who want to grow more from where they are. I have recently joined HealthCare Global Enterprises Ltd, which is a cancer hospital network, the largest cancer hospital network in the country. We have 25 hospitals all over the country with 4 regions. I look after the East and AP region, where I have about 7 hospitals, 2 daycare centers with me. So I'm working with them. It's just a month-old organization. It's a new assignment, but I'm really looking forward to work in cancer, much deeper level, because today cancer is treated very differently. We do have a very multimodal approach to treat cancer. Cancer should be identified early. If you identify early cancers, then 40 to 50% of cancers are curable, treatable. And we must take use of those medications which are absolutely going and hitting the cancer cells and leaving the rest of the rest of your normal cells intact. So this is how it is. I think I will close my conversation today with a lot of best wishes to each one of you. Keep yourself well and do health checkups. Keep talking to your doctor sometimes, and keep doing the best things that you want to do.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your insights with us today. I'm sure our students who are watching us have found this session to be quite helpful. So students, if you're watching us live today, do like and subscribe our pages, and definitely visit our website planstudyabroad.com to book your free consultation. Thank you.